Hey guys, we're now looking at target 3.3. Our mastery learning objective is I can recognize and use relationships between arcs, chords, and diameters. Okay. Starting with this unit, we're going to be learning a lot of these theorems, or going over a lot of these theorems. For tests and quizzes, we'll be making a little cheat sheet of all our theorems, and you will be able to use that on tests and quizzes. So anything that goes on that cheat sheet, you don't have to memorize, but you still have to be able to use it and apply it, okay? So let's look at our first theorem, congruent arcs and chords theorem. Two minor arcs are congruent if and only if their corresponding chords are congruent. Okay. So, if FG, that arc, is the same as JH, then the chord that connects them is also the same length as this chord, and vice versa. If you know the chords are congruent, then you know the arcs are congruent. So let's look at how we would apply this. AB is congruent to CD, so it tells me these chords are the same. That means I know these are the same. Okay, so I know arc AB is equal, we'll say the measure of arc AB is equal to the measure of arc CD. So 60 equals that measure. Okay? Again, it's really just saying this is 60, right? These are the same, so these are the same. We're looking at circle W now, and RS is congruent to TV. So I know this is the same as this. That means these lines are the same. That line RS equals line TV. Right? So line RS, I have 5x minus 9 equals 2x plus 3. Solving this, I'm going to take away, getting ahead of myself, 2x from both sides. 3x minus 9 equals 3. Add 9. 3x equals 12. And divide by 3. However, I am not done yet. Right, because it wants me to find the length of RS. Well, RS equals 5x minus 9, which is 5 times 4 minus 9. Well, 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 9 is 11. We can also plug it in. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So yes, those are the same. All right, so that's our first theorem. Pretty basic. One's equal, then the other ones are equal. Okay? All right, next we have our perpendicular bisector chord theorem. A diameter or radius of a circle is perpendicular to a chord if and only if it bisects the chord. Okay? And its arc. Again, this if and only if just goes both ways. So this is perpendicular. Therefore, these things are congruent. Right? So, if this is a right angle, then this and this are the same, and this are the same. Okay? And vice versa. If these are equal, then this diameter creates a right angle. So, in circle S, right, so we're using circle S, the measure of PQR equals 98. Measure of this whole thing is 98. Well, this does create a right angle. So if I want to find PQ, well, this is X, that's X. They're going to be the same. Okay? So x plus x equals 98, or 2x equals 98. Thus, when I divide by 2, x equals 49 degrees. Technically, it's a degree with a measure of an angle, or arc, sorry. Okay? Because these have to be the same and they have to get together, they have to be 98. So they're each going to be 49. In circle S, now we want to find PR. We want to find this whole distance. Well, again, because this is a right angle, since this is 6, this is 6, so then PR equals 6 plus 6, which is 12. And so as long as you see this right angle here, all those things are equal. Alright, let's look at example 5. In circle R, find TV. Okay. And there is a trick to these ones. So I'm going to teach you the trick. So we want to find TV. In problems like this, when we're finding all distances, what we are going to do is we're going to draw another radius. Okay? This is a radius. That radius is 11. So if I draw a radius here, this radius is 11. I now have this lovely right triangle. Right? So I know x, 6, and 11. Just like we did last unit, I'm now going to use Pythagorean's theorem. X squared plus 6 squared equals 11 squared. Okay? So in a lot of these, that other radius isn't always drawn for you, so you want to be careful with that. So x squared plus 6 squared equals 11 squared. And then I have x squared plus 36 equals 121. If I subtract 36, I should be able to do that in my head, but we get 85. And 85 doesn't have anything it can break into, so we'll just keep it as the square root of 85. Okay. Using our rule from above, right, this is a right angle, so then this is also, square root of 85. So that means this whole TV is the square root of 85 plus the square root of 85. Well, 1 square root of 85 plus 1 square root of 85 is 2 square root of 85. I think I want to leave everything in simplified radical form. Alright, that's it for that theorem. Let's look at our last theorem, equidistant and congruent chords theorem. Okay. Two chords are congruent if and only if they are equidistant from the center. So we have these F, G, and G, H. If these chords are congruent, then their distance from the center here is the same, and vice versa. If I know these are the same, then those are the same. Okay? So if I look at an example, WX is the same as XY, which is 22. It's not even super important that I know these are 22. It is important that I know those are the same, because then these are the same. And I can set them equal. Subtract 3x from both sides. We get 2x equals 4. and then we want to divide by 2. Same thing as we did before though, I want to know what AB is, not X. AB is 5X. So that's 5 times 2, which is 10. Alright, so make sure at the end if it's asking for that whole thing, you're plugging it in. Alright, looking at our last example, number 7. In circle H, PQ equals 3x minus 4, and RS equals 14. Find x. Okay. So this one, it tells us this part's the same, and therefore these are going to be the same, right? So since PQ equals RS, this is 3x minus 4. This side's 14. I'm going to set those equal. Add 4 to both sides. Divide by 3. X equals 6. And we are done. So that is it for these notes. The problems themselves are not super difficult. A lot of it's just solving an equation, but it's making sure we're using the theorems correctly. Again, these theorems will not have to be memorized. You'll have a cheat sheet with you, and we'll start making that tomorrow. But we want to make sure we understand how to use them. Okay? Otherwise, have a good rest of your night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.